Since October 7th, the eyes of the world have been on Gaza, not just what's on the surface, but also what's beneath it. Hamas's intricate tunnel network, sometimes referred to as the Gaza Metro, has been used to move Hamas fighters and weapons, but also keep hostages prisoner. Our News Nation team went inside of those tunnels to get an up-close look under the surface. We've spoken so much at length about Hamas's intricate tunnel system. This is an up-close look at one of them, and you see the massive size of this. You could easily drive an American car through there, and that's just a stone's throw away from the border.
The Gaza Metro. It's not a subway system, it's an underground strategic tunnel network used by Hamas death squads to transport their fighters and vehicles. This could have been a subway. It's as wide as a subway line. Hamas decided to invest all that money, all that digging that should have gone above ground to civilians in Gaza into these tunnels.
Oh yeah, we definitely will.
They chose to prioritize the October 7 massacre, not the people of Gaza. Mind the gap.
Not to touch the wires. This is what the Special Forces engineers guys are asking. And walk here on the sides, okay? This side and this side.
All right, now we're going inside of one of Hamas's tunnels. There to see how steep it is and how massive this is. You could easily drive a car through here.
The depth is about 50 meters. This is how deep this thing went underground.
Just look at all this concrete. When I think the Hamas building its underground power tunnels, and it's insane to think that all of this was built right under the noses of the UN agencies that kept sending more concrete into Gaza. Some people should have gone to schools, should have gone to the hospitals, above ground that are connected to this strategic power tunnel network that Hamas built to protect its own fighters.
The big pipe is ventilation.
We're going to have to
Wow, that's crazy.
that Gaza.
You know, everybody's now challenging the IDF and saying, okay, why is it not over? Everybody has like the concentration span of a goldfish. People have a very small, also in the Israeli public, small tolerance for long campaigns. But I think when you come and see this, and when you heard Hagari last night saying this is going to take time, this is the magnitude, this is the scale, this is just a taste of it, what we're dealing with. So people want a very, instant victory and a victory picture. So this is going to take time. There's not going to be a quick catharsis. To dismantle this and other things that we're now discovering in Khan Yunis, and also what we discovered in the north. You see the size. I mean, we've released footage of us, dismantling massive infrastructure of tunnels in the Palestine square near Shifa, and again with the sensitivities of also these civilian locations. It's going to be a long haul, and I think when you come in here, it's important to take that into the mindset of this is going to take us a while.
Maybe 50 years, 100 years from now, this will be an archaeological spot where people can actually take tours to see Mashu.
Okay.
This is like, you can feel it, you can see it, but it tells you,
One thing that you can't help but notice right off the bat is the level of infrastructure that's down here. All of this concrete, this took years, this took millions of dollars, and then you add in what's above here. This is a ventilation tube. You see the wiring that's here as well. This is a grounding wire. This took years in order to construct, and it's just a short distance away from the crossing.
Let's change the angle a little bit.
Just mess. Just mess.
There's so many wires in all of this here. What is all this infrastructure that's in here?
That's for grounding. That's what you can see. That's a grounding wire, right, for electricity. But you can see here it's also like it's a ventilation.
This is the strategic terror.
It's a ventilation pipe.
This is the strategic terror tunnel that Hamas built, leading right up to the Israelis.
How long would it have taken to build something like this? Years.
I mean, this is one of his
Let's put this in London terms. A 4 kilometer long
strategic project. I mean, Sinwar was invested in this personally.
And Hamas built it not in order to transport
And
food,
it's just,
medicines for the people of Gaza.
we're going to probably at some point get rid of it.
Gaza, 50 meters
But, you know, the idea of having something this at this scale near the humanitarian crossing is
Right.
just,
under their homes instead of building homes.
how cynical is it?
It's unbelievable. I mean, that's very close
Very close.
to the crossing.
Yeah.
And so, what happened here October 7th with the
So
usage of this
they
tunnel?
they didn't actually use this tunnel on the 7th. I mean, this is something they probably kept maybe for, you know, for something which is a bigger scale. I mean, they probably maybe didn't expect us going in at that pace, but this was something they didn't want to expose. It's a doomsday capability for them.
Enough to take a whole tube train through it, and it's like the
And then when you get rid of these, what do? Do you fill them with concrete?
Well, I won't go into the techniques of it. Some are,
Gaza, they built it.
we detonate some of them. We try and do it with all sorts of techniques, dismantle them.
Technology is its cult of death, its determination to conduct massacres like October 7th, that they spent day by day, inch by inch, digging out this tunnel for no purpose other than to conduct attacks against Israelis.
Feel it, you can see it, but it tells you, כאילו, והדבר השני, בוא נעשה...
And what's remarkable is this tunnel, it just keeps on going, descending into the abyss. 50 meters down, 4 kilometers in length. That's why the IDF says this is one of the biggest challenges they're facing in Gaza.
Just a photo? A photo for sure, but then
Is this the biggest challenge that the IDF is facing in Gaza? I mean, where does this stack up on the list of challenges?
I mean, this is one of the biggest ones because we've been building these for so many years, and it's like a vast. I mean, there's someone that made a comparison, saying, imagine a Burj Khalifa underground.
Right.
The size and magnitude of what they've built here is just, and it's not just like, you know, you can see it's like it's an operational capability. It's not tactical. Tactical is like someone's that, you know, that dig a small tunnel. You can see the level of engineering here. You can see that, you know, the amount of concrete that's been, you know, deployed here is just it's mind-boggling.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's hundreds of miles of these in the Gaza Strip.
Yeah. And that's what we're slowly doing. We're slowly dismantling it.
What percentage of the tunnels do you think you guys know of?
We're getting to them. It's taking time.
Yeah. I guess just your first impressions of all of this. What do you think of this?
You know, it's one thing that we report about it, but it's a different issue when you actually stand here and you comprehend the sickness of it all. You know, it's massive, right? They invested not only resources in it, but so much energy went into creating this, and this is just one. Gaza is filled with these tunnels. So you're standing here and you're thinking, this is the epitome of their commitment to a sick ideology, which calls to obliterate the Jewish state, calls for the murdering, the killing of the Jews, and to think about how they educate one generation after another, that these children have no hope as long as a Jewish state exists. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. And there are going to be some people who watch this tonight and say that's photoshopped and that's not real, or the Israelis built it. I mean, pretty unbelievable, isn't it?
This is another, it's Holocaust denial level sentences of the kind that you just mentioned. You and I are here, we're standing here. You know, and the difference is striking because we just walked in from the Erez border crossing where Israel invested efforts of humanitarian aid and to bring people out of Gaza to work in Israel, to take people who were sick, children who were sick, and treat them in Israeli hospitals for so many years. And just how many meters did we walk? It was 400 meters or so. And just on the other side, what Hamas is invested in. It's really mind-boggling.
Three, two, one. The soldiers you see behind me are guarding us because this tunnel stretches for another 4 kilometers inside Gaza, 50 meters underground. This is what Hamas chose to do with its many years in power in Gaza. Not to support the people above ground, but to divert all the international aid money they got into building tunnels like this.
It also shows that, you know, our paradigm was that the Erez crossing was like a little light of hope where people were coming into Israel for medical treatment, and we were ramping up our permits of people coming into from Gaza to work in Israel. So it's a very cynical thing. Also, the vicinity of the tunnel to this location, and you see the size and magnitude of that tunnel. It's not just a regular shaft. It was a strategic project of Hamas, this tunnel. So, to me, the fact that it's so near this crossing, which was a little light in this very, very hard reality that we had with Gaza, I think is pretty substantial. And to me, Gaza is still dangerous. I mean, they're still firing from the north. They could fire here too. That's why we're all wearing protective gear. But it's still a war zone.
You see the location of this tunnel. This is the ending point of it. And then when you swing back around this way, that's the crossing right over there. That just goes to show how close Hamas was able to get with their construction of some of these massive, intricate tunnels.